After weeks of hearing prosecutors make their case against 3 Tacoma police officers accused of killing Manuel Ellis in 2020, the jury this week began to hear from the defense. Attorneys representing Christopher Burbank, Matthew Collins, and Timothy Rankin called a host of witnesses to testify about Ellis' past arrests and drug use, whether officers' use of force was reasonable in subduing and detaining him, and to dispute his cause of death. Ellis, 33, died the night of March 3, 2020, after encountering Burbank and Collins in Tacoma's South End. Eyewitness testimony and cell phone videos have shown that Collins struck Ellis with his fists or elbows and briefly put him in a headlock before Burbank shot him with a taser. Ellis, who was unarmed, was pressed to the ground face down with weight on his back until Rankin and his partner arrived as backup. Evidence has shown Ellis told police at least 5 times that he couldn't breathe. Rankin later told investigators he put all of his weight on Ellis' back despite his pleas for breath. Ellis was also bound in handcuffs tied to hobbles on his legs, and a spit hood was placed over his head. On Monday, attorneys called law enforcement witnesses from a 2019 incident in which Ellis was arrested after allegedly trying to rob a fast food restaurant on Pacific Avenue. Ellis, who was high on meth and naked, didn't follow police commands and charged at officers. Lawyers have argued this showed Ellis tended to be aggressive to police when he was on meth. On Tuesday, the defense turned back to Ellis' death in 2020, calling 2 civilian eyewitnesses who were expected to weaken the testimony of the state's eyewitnesses, who characterized the police as the aggressors. One, Shad Hayes, lived about a half block from where Ellis died, and he told jurors that a sheriff's department detective who interviewed him attributed statements to him that he never said, such as that Ellis appeared intoxicated. Both he and another eyewitness said Ellis was resisting arrest, but that officers had control of him by the time backup arrived, and that Ellis wasn't a threat to police. On Wednesday, Rankin's patrol partner, Masai Ford, testified, telling jurors that he didn't see any excessive uses of force and that he would have intervened if he had. Thursday, an emergency room doctor called by the defense challenged the original autopsy that found Ellis died of a form of oxygen deprivation caused by physical restraint. Dr. Jennifer Stankus, who works at Madigan Army Medical Center, said Ellis' death was related to his heart, not his respiratory system. She said the 2,400 nanograms per milliliter of meth in his system caused heart failure. The week ended with a police training sergeant from Renton telling jurors that in his review of the incident, the officers' uses of force were appropriate. Thanks for listening. I'm Peter Talbot, the criminal justice reporter for the News Tribune. You can follow our coverage at thenewstribune.com, and I'll be back here every Friday.